Hi, today we are going to work on an application on consumption, including the consumption function and consumption saving decisions. So let's suppose we have a little data here. Suppose my disposable income, that's going to be the column for disposable income. We have 0 and 600. And then the consumption C, we have 300, 750. This is an example of application similar to the ones I posted for you. So let's see, suppose the first question is, how much is my autonomous consumption? It's A for the consumption function. Remember my consumption function. General formula is A, which stands for autonomous consumption. What is autonomous consumption? How much I consume in absence of income. I have to survive. I have to buy some food, shelter. How much is my autonomous consumption? And then I have the second part in the consumption function that's related to my disposable income. So that's going to be MPC times YD. That's the general function of consumption. So let's see, back to the first question. How much is my autonomous consumption? Well, I have to look at this data. Let's see how I can figure out this question. So when I have 0 disposable income, I consume 300. So that's my autonomous consumption, whatever corresponds to 0 consumption. Over here, this is where you'll have to look. How much you consume when you have no money. So my autonomous consumption is $300 per month. Let's see another question. Suppose you are asked to calculate marginal propensity to consume. The formula is the change in consumption divided by change in disposable income. Let's see, what's my change in consumption? 750 minus 300, 750 minus 300 divided by 600 minus 0, change in disposable income. So that's going to be 450 divided by 600, which is going to give you an MPC of 0.75. What does it mean that I have my MPC 0.75? It means that for every extra dollar I make, I consume 75%, which is 75 cents, and I save the rest. Because we know that MPC plus MPS has to add up to 1. That's one of the formulas you have in the PowerPoint, so by this time you should know that. Everything that I make, I either consume or I save. Okay, let's see. Let's suppose you are asked what's my consumption function. Consumption function, now that's the general formula of consumption function I have for you over here. I just have to plug in for autonomous consumption and MPC, and that's going to be my general function. So consumption is, I figure out autonomous consumption is 300, so I write 300, plus MPC is 0.75 times YD. That's the general function. This is what you are asked to write down. Then let's see if we have another question here. So we are going to need the data again. YD 0600, consumption 300, 750. So suppose the next question is 4. For which level of disposable income I have disposable income equals consumption? So how much money I have to make, kind of my break-even point, which level of income I consume everything. I have no savings. So let's see, from the previous page we have the general function, the general consumption function is C equals A was 300, autonomous consumption, plus 0.75 times YD. That's my general function for consumption. So let's see, I am asked to calculate how much is my disposable income to have this equality over here. Well, if that has to hold, then I can, in this consumption function, I can substitute C for YD or YD for C. They have to be equal. So let's work for C. C equals 300 plus 0.75. Now I substitute instead of YD C. And then I have an equation in C that I want to solve. So C is going to go the other side, change the sign. C minus 0.75 C equals 300 stays on that side. So here I have 1C minus 0.75 C, that's going to be 0.25 C equals 300. That means C is going to be 300 divided by 0.25. My consumption comes out to be 1,200 or 1,200. That's the one for which consumption equals YD. If I make 1,200 a month, I consume everything. Okay. Now suppose you have another question. E. Suppose you have another question asks you, how much is your savings? S stands for savings. If you make YD equals $1,000, your disposable income is $1,000 a month. Again, we go back to our consumption function plus 0.75 YD, and then we substitute for YD and see what we have, the consumption. Consumption 300 plus 0.75 times 1,000 equals 300 plus, I multiply that, which is going to be 750. So my consumption is going to be 1,050. I have to calculate how much is my savings for an income of 1,000. I also know that my consumption plus savings equals disposable income. That was on your PowerPoint earlier when you studied for this topic. So my consumption is, just solve for it, 150 plus I don't have my savings, I have to solve for this one, and I'm given that disposable income is 1,000. So in this case savings is gonna be, this one goes the other way and I change the sign, 1,000 minus 150, so that's gonna be minus 50. Negative savings, which is interpreted as borrowed money. Negative savings is always borrowed money. So if I only make 1,000 a year, 1,000 a month, then I need to borrow $50 to cover my expenses. So that was an application very similar to the ones I assigned for you to work on, to have more exercise before you complete the homework and turn it in.